Hey guys,
Gosh.
welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking to a Facebook software engineer, and what we're going to be doing today is basically going through the entire interview process and how you guys can succeed at getting a job at Facebook in 2020. We're going to talk about what you guys should do to prepare, what the interview process is like, what kind of questions are asked, and everything like that. So I have my friend here who works at Facebook. If you want to introduce yourself, buddy, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Aiden. I'm a Facebook engineer. I originally interned at Facebook like 2.5 years ago, and now I'm a full-time for the past year or so. I'll be answering your questions.
Beauty. So you want to tell me about how you applied in the first place?
Yeah, so my school basically has like an intern portal, and from there you just apply to a bunch of companies. Facebook was one of them. Basically, you'd apply. I think they interview more people than you'd expect. I think like the FANG companies kind of have this like reputation for being like, I don't know, like scary. At least for me going into it, I was like kind of scared. But they interview a lot of people, and it's basically like 3 or 4 different interviews the first day, and then I think another 2 the day after. Yeah, so basically you get the interviews, and then you're going to go through like, at least for internships, I think 3 in one day, just like back to back with a bunch of different interviewers. They'll ask you like 1 or 2 standard coding questions. And then at the end of the day, I think they all meet and they would like say what they thought of each candidate. And then they'd bring in like some percent of those for day 2 and go through another few interview questions. And then you get your final decision for the internship.
Okay, so what was the first interview? The very first one you had, like of the 3 in the first day, what was that one like?
Yeah. I mean, the first one was definitely like the scariest. I think
Really?
yeah, I mean, in fourth year or like your last year of university, you're like trying to land one of the like Amazon, Facebook, whatever. And
Hmm.
like honestly, all of the intern processes, like with the like leet code-esque style questions, are just like, even if you're good at them, it's always kind of like a fucking coin flip. Like you really don't know whether you're gonna get it instantly or if it's gonna be a tough one. So I was
Hmm.
definitely scared that I was gonna like get one that just blanked on. But I didn't. And then once you get that one done, you're kind of in the mode and like keep going. So I honestly don't even remember what the first question was, but it was like a standard like leet code hacker rank question.
Hmm.
At the end, I think they asked me like a couple of like extra things, optimizations, like what the runtime was, and then like asked if I had any questions basically.
Okay, so the first interview was all technical.
Yeah, I think every single one of them is technical, but they're like, I think there were like 5 minutes at the end where they just like ask about any questions, and I feel like that was kind of getting a feel for social or culture fit. But I mean, I think culture fit is like kind of a myth
Hmm.
as long as you're a competent programmer.
Okay, so the first one was technical, and then the second one was just like a kind of different kind of question for, like, what were the differences you would say between the 3 that you had on the first day?
As far as I know, like they're just completely random. Like they're all technical, at least for new grads. I think if you're entering with like a year, 2 years experience, they're gonna start asking you system design questions.
Okay.
But for new grads and for interns, it's just gonna be like straight up like technical like lead code problems.
Okay. And so then you said there's a second day of interviews, and was that technical as well?
More technical, yeah.
Oh,
I think
for
the
real?
second day ones were harder, but like all throughout I'm not sure if that was just like random or whether that was planned, but it was all just basically medium and hard like lead code level problems.
Okay. And how long would you say each interview was? Like you had 5 total? How long would you say each one was?
I think 45 minutes each.
Oh, for real? Okay. So the first
Yeah.
day was like 45 minutes. You had 5 minute break, another 45 minutes, another 5 minute break. So it was like 3 hours basically.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, that sounds intense. So you want to talk about how you prepared for them? What you did
Yeah,
to
for sure. I
practice?
mean, I'm not sure if you mentioned on your channel before or this is the first time you've heard it, but like I keep saying leak code,
Yeah.
and that is in my opinion the best like if I was trying to get like Facebook, Amazon, Google, whatever job, I think the most efficient way to do it and like just like ticking all the boxes would be to like get some side projects, get like 1 or 2 internships under my belt. So I have like a resume that's going to get me to the interviewing stage,
Mm-hmm.
which like is honestly, I don't think that hard. It's like, I think during the interviews where they really weed the people out.
Yeah.
So after I get that and have the basics down, just do leak code. I don't know, like, have you talked about that at all? Or
Yeah, for sure, man. It's the best way to prep.
yeah. So I think I personally did like 100 of them, but just like start out with easy. I think when you're first getting into it, like it's really also intimidating
Mm-hmm.
because like, I don't know, it's just a new style of question. It's probably not things you've really learned before.
Yeah.
So just get comfortable with easies, move up to mediums. And I'd say once you can do like the majority of mediums, like within 45 minutes, then you're probably good. And just like, did a few hards just for like the confidence, but it's really, you don't have to do that much. I know a lot of people who didn't do any, but it's just like, once you're comfortable with those, you can go into the interview and just be like very confident, because there's really like I don't think interviewers are going to go and like make up their own problem. Like they're engineers too. They're just doing their jobs. They get called up for like 45 minutes to interview someone. They're just going to use like a pre-made question or some variant. I don't actually know what the real interview process is, but yeah. So those two are like by far the most important parts, I would say, for getting and then like successfully completing the interviewing process.
You see, guys, don't take it from me. Take it from the software engineer at Facebook. I've mentioned this before. Leak code is a great way to practice for interviews. Like he said, 100 questions. It sounds like a lot, but you know, if you just do all of them, you take a week or two and you just do 100 questions, you're good. Like you'll be able to succeed at the interview process. It's not that crazy.
Another thing that I did was with Leak Code, you can get like most asked interview questions, and basically it just says like top rated like Facebook interview questions, Amazon, Google. And if you just go through those, like you're set. Like I think at least 1 or 2 of the questions that I got asked during all my like Amazon, Google, Facebook interviews were like literally on that list. It's like a huge benefit to have those. And then also another big one, probably the most cancerous subreddit I've ever seen, but very useful for like reading more about like tips and tricks and shit. It's like CS career questions, but there's a lot of good info on there. And then also you can see offers and like ballpark ranges for different companies. And that's really helpful for negotiating.
Oh, dude, yeah, I know about CS career questions, man. I've been banned from that subreddit, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
an interesting place.
I post my YouTube videos there. Instant ban. Instant ban.
Yeah.
So what would you have done differently if you had a second chance? Like if you're in 2 years ago, you're applying right now, would you have done anything differently or just done the same thing?
It's hard to say like in hindsight, because like, as I said, I think it is like a coin flip. So if I really, really wanted specifically this job, I probably would have done even more Elite Code. But I had like a good amount of interviews and I was confident I'd like hit enough coin flips to get at least one of them. Other than that, no, I don't think there'd be any other things I do to prepare.
Okay. So now tell me about how you went from being an intern to full time. Was there anything that you think you did that, you know, kind of made you stand out, or anything you did that kind of secured your position as a full-time engineer?
Yeah, for sure. Facebook's definitely one of the easier, well, like compared to Google at least. Like Google, I know you do your internship and then they like literally re-interview you at the end,
Oh, shit. Okay.
which sounds kind of stressful. But Facebook, you basically get your intern project and then you have a bunch of axes. I forgot what they were exactly, but it's very like clearly laid out.
What's an axie?
Like an axis of it's like one of those like rubrics basically.
Okay.
So like, oh, like they were able to like deal with the complexity, they were able to like interact with teammates. I forgot what all of them were, but honestly, like once you get the internship, like as long as you like put in the work, you're in a pretty good place. Like I don't know anyone that didn't get a return offer that was like actually working. Like, I mean, you might have to go like 40, maybe even like 50-hour weeks if you're like having a tough project or get unlucky or something. But like, I think as long as you work hard and if you can pass the interview process, I think you're smart enough to like do pretty well with that and get the return offer.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, thanks a lot for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, yeah. So, guys, take it from him. He's been successfully working at Facebook for like over a year, right? How long has it been?
Almost a year and then 4-month internship.
Yeah. So, guys, like, it's not impossible to get these interviews and to get these jobs. There's a pretty good process. You'll see from my interview with the Amazon engineer before, he said the same kind of things. You know, you can get on LeetCode and just do all these questions and kind of grind it out and then be ready for the interview. It's not that crazy. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Take this advice to heart. It's really good advice from a really successful engineer. So like, there's literally no better source for this kind of stuff. So like and subscribe, and thank you very much. See you guys later.